Call the meeting to order. This meeting is being recorded. I can see there's no one else recording the meeting. If you'd please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. We now move on to special recognitions.
Actually, we have no special recognitions tonight, I'm sorry.
We have nothing, no. I see it written there, but there's nothing beneath. And I don't think we have any citizens' comments. Welcome. So I would seek approval of the minutes of September 7th.
Make a motion to approve the September 7th minutes as presented.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It is a vote. We now move on to the superintendent's report.
Mr. Chair, it's not on the agenda, I apologize, but the student representatives report.
Oh, I'm sorry, and I saw them there, and I thought maybe it was down a little bit lower. Well, welcome. If you'd just like to introduce yourselves once again, and tell us what's new and exciting at the high school.
I'm a junior at Auburn High. My name's Isabella Laurie. Last week was the college fair, so most juniors and seniors went down. A lot of schools came to represent and tell us what we can do with our futures and what they can offer us. Also last week was an AP course assembly where a representative came in to talk about the advantage of taking AP courses, and also State Representative Paul Frost talked to us about how AP courses can help us get ahead in college, and especially if you do well in the AP exam. This week, if you drive by the high school, there'll be a big orange and blue box outside the school. It's the Distractology driving simulation, where if you have your permit or license, you sign up and you have the experience of being a distracted driver and what it can cause, different accidents, so it's a good kind of lesson for everyone.
I'm Jacob Turcott. I'm a senior this year. I was the representative last year as well. It was a pleasure to be doing that. One thing that I would like to talk about is a teacher approached me, Eric Berg, who is now the president of the Major David Broder Foundation. And he wanted me to just kind of talk about a little bit of what's going on this year with the organization and what was done last year. So right now, the organization is coming up onto its big fundraising time. The Major David Broder Foundation Memorial 5K is coming up in, I think, 2 weeks, on the 16th. Every sports team that I can think of currently in this season is going to be there volunteering their time. The National Honor Society, I know, will also be there volunteering their time. And it's just a great fundraising day, great experience for anybody involved. And it's a really good memorial, and they really do a really good job of putting that race on. And it's good because, like I said, it's the major fundraising portion of this foundation. And last year they were able to give over $9,000 away in scholarships to the school. They were also involved in sending our technology teams to the districts or the main competition. We had them in here last year to give their presentation. So they helped finance that. And they helped send soldier boxes overseas every year. And just a really good foundation. So I'd like to give thanks to not only the foundation, but also Eric Berg for taking over the presidency of that foundation.
Excellent. Great report. Any comments, questions?
Just that it is a great foundation, and they do a lot of good. They do a lot of good for the schools, service people. It's really, really a good thing they do.
Any other comments?
I'm registered. It'd be great to see some of my fellow school committee members come out. You can at very least walk. It's fun, and you're cheered on the whole way. So.
And what is the date of the race?
The 16th.
60. Yeah.
Well, I'd like to thank everyone who's involved in volunteering for that organization. It is great. You guys do some wonderful things, and good luck this year. Hopefully we can make it. And to you two, very impressed with how you just climbed on board this year and just started firing on all cylinders, and you did a great job with the report. That being said, if you want to stay and enjoy some of the meeting, you're more than welcome. If you have homework to do or anything else that's more fun than a school committee meeting, you do not have to stick around. But we do appreciate your report and your attendance here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Moving on.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just wanted to make you aware that we have 3 of our collective bargaining contracts that will expire in June of this year. The custodians, the secretaries, and instructional assistants. So these have been provided for you in your packet, and if you have comments, obviously, to bring those back. We'll be discussing them in executive session. Also wanted to check to see if a school committee representative, and you certainly don't need to decide this tonight. Typically, we don't begin negotiations until after the first of the year, but it could start sooner. If you wanted to designate a school committee representative to serve on each of those, know that Dr. Lozay, Mrs. Worsbicky, myself will be assisting with those, and Mr. Fahey always helps with the custodians too. So I just share those with you for your consideration.
Wayne?
I would like to do the custodian contract if it's all right with the board.
I would entertain a motion to nominate Wayne to the negotiating team for custodians.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
A second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Nice, thanks.
Thank you.
Through the chair.
Yes.
Might I suggest that we wait for the other 2 committees until Gail is back? In case she has interest in serving.
Yeah, she
on the
might
other
be
2.
good for the
Yep.
secretary.
For the others? Yeah, absolutely. I just thought, well, we had someone interested in this one.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely.
The next one is regarding question 2. We put in here the copy of the summary, actually, of what question 2 is asking. And as stated in here, the proposed law would allow the Board of Education to approve up to 12 new charter schools or enrollment expansions each year, and it would remove a cap that is currently on those. So I know there was discussion about it on September 7th. We did check with Glenn Kuchar, the Executive Director of MASC, and he indicated that it is certainly fine to do so. I also shared just recently with the chair that I had also spoken with Tom Scott, who's the Executive Director of MASS, and he indicated that there are over 100 school committees thus far who have taken votes regarding their position on question 2. He also shared draft language from another community that would need to be updated, obviously, to our community if you wanted such information. But there are over 100 school districts as of now who have taken such a vote.
So if we'd like to put off the official vote on supporting this item, we could get some more information, and Mary Ellen just quickly shared with me a couple of statistics, but if we all had an opportunity to kind of look over that by the next meeting, that'd be better.
Yeah.
I know some of us are pretty close to supporting it right now, if not fully supporting it, but I think if we're made aware of everything that's been forwarded to us, I think it'd be a better situation.
I agree.
All right.
The next item, I wanted to make you aware, if you remember, it was actually last year, there were 3 school administrators who went to MESPA, the Mass Elementary School Principals Association, and spoke to Kuwaiti educators who are working to become administrators in that country. And as a result of that, we were outreached again, representatives from Auburn, Leicester, and Worcester. And they'd actually like to come and make a visit to our school at some point in October. The October 20th date is currently in flux. What they'd actually be specifically looking at, as I had noted in here, is really looking at the practice of school improvement, family engagement, and time on learning. There would be other areas of focus in Leicester and Worcester. So I think it's an exciting opportunity. I'm going to share more with the principals about it tomorrow. I gave them a little taste of it back when we met late in the summer. But I think it would be a nice opportunity for us for a little bit of a cultural exchange. It would only be for a day, but to learn a little bit about how they do business there in Kuwait, and for them to learn from us too. So I wanted to keep you apprised and keep you posted as it comes, so be nice.
Excellent.
And then most recently received some very exciting news that we should all take much pride and honor in. Auburn Youth and Family Services, as you know, annually awards the Ben Masterman Award. This will be the fourth such year that they do so. And there have been numerous deserving organizations for that. And this year they have selected the Auburn Public Schools to receive that in recognition of the ongoing collaboration. I think it's fair to say that both Auburn Youth and us as a school district, and the community of Auburn as well, I would say, really believe in working together to best support students and families. So I think it's a wonderful recognition, and I wanted to make you aware, and you will all be invited if you've not already done so. So that's on October 5th at 7:15 in the morning.
Excellent. Comments?
I'll be there.
Just be there, if you can.
Yeah, it is quite
That's
an
it.
honor. Moving on.
The next, I wanted to update you, the Bryn Mawr Modular. Students were in there today with their teacher, Miss Wildgroup. I spoke with Mrs. Chamberlain earlier in the afternoon, and she said things were great. The kids were very excited. I had stopped in a couple of times to see them in the gym, and the kids loved it. I think the teacher was ready to have her own space, and the gym teacher was ready to get her space back. So they actually have open house there tonight for grades 1 and 2, I believe. So very excited for that. Mr. Fahey was instrumental as always in making sure we had all of our permits and everything in place. So nice addition to have.
That's great. It's like having their own brand new little school there.
Exactly. And then finally, well, not finally, my goals for this school year, we did include them again in the packets for you, but I would be more than happy to answer any questions or take suggestions from you.
Do we have any questions for Dr. Brunel? Has everyone had a chance to look these over?
No, I got the two I wanted in there, so that's good.
Very good. If there are no questions and no issues with what you've read so far, I guess it would be safe to take a vote, as if we have 4 in favor, I don't think that we need to wait for Gail, and Gail wants to come to the next meeting and say she wasn't in favor, then that's great. She can have her opinion known, but I'm sure she would be on board as well, because I haven't heard anything from her. Have you heard anything, Dr.
I have
Brunel?
not. No, I have not.
Well, I'm sure it's a go, then I would entertain that motion to accept Dr. Brunel's goals for
I'll make-
2016-17.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye?
Aye. This vote.
Thank you, and I will, as I do annually, I'll update you around about January or February, and then again at the end of the year.
Excellent.
And then the budgeting priorities, as we noted in here, the ones that you've had in the past, the maintaining appropriate class sizes, student safety, textbooks, technology, student achievement, strategic plan implementation, professional development, and educator evaluation.
Any comments, questions? Seeing none. Move on to new
And then
business.
finally, under new business for upcoming events, as you can see, the curriculum nights continue. They'll actually finish with the elementary school ones late next week. Middle school and high school also have them scheduled, and the next PTO meeting, they've already had one so far, will be a week from Monday night.
Great. Any other announcements under new business? Wayne?
I would just like to say that there was a Youth and Family Service run, 5K run last week, and Dorothy was one of the main people there, and I just wanted to say, as having her on the school committee and have her doing things like that, it really shows how much she cares and how much time and effort that she put into that day. And I just wanted to thank her as a school committee member for doing such a great job.
Oh, thank you. That's
You're
really kind of, I feel like,
Well-
It's
You did
good
a
for us
great-
to
you
be
did a
the
good
job.
thing.
So.
Well said. How many years is that now?
This is
Dorothy,
our
that you've been-
4th year, and we had about 300 folks participate, which I was overwhelmed by. So, and most importantly, is we sent at least a full truckload of food to the Auburn Youth Family Services food pantry. So
That's great.
I was overwhelmed, and I couldn't thank the community enough. We have more sponsors than we've ever had this year, so we were thrilled. So-
Great, Wayne?
I would just like to echo that with all the people that you know who helped that day that I don't know by name or anything. I'd like to, let them know that I thank them as a school committee member for their continuous help with Auburn Youth and Family Services.
Well, I'll certainly pass that along. I'm working on my thank yous, so a few weeks late. Thank you very much.
Thank you for representing us in such a positive way. That's great. A lot of hard work goes into things like that.
I'm so
sure.
tired.
I'm sure the community appreciates it very much. Dr. Brunel?
There is actually one additional thing I forgot to mention. I think I shared with you, though. This past Monday, just a few days ago, was the Chamber of Commerce golf tournament that they hold annually in Heritage. And this was the first year that Mother Nature was not as happy shining down on them. There was a little bit of rain and stuff, but I understand it doesn't rain on the golf course. So I did go to thank them. But this marks actually, they said they had a full house. I think it was 85 sponsors for it, so a lot of generosity from people. And supplies, scholarships for our students at the year end, and also grants for our teachers and things. So this is well over $250,000 that they've raised. So just another opportunity. I think that's a great with Auburn Youth, but a lot of great support in the community.
Yep. Fantastic. Any other comments, questions? Seeing none. We now move on to everyone's favorite part of the evening. Cecilia?
Okay, I'd like to
At
give
least
you
you
the
should-
business and financial report. In your packet, I provided a year-to-date budget report for fiscal year 17, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have with regard to that. Also listed with that is a list of transfers that I had made between accounts in the same series. Most were made to reflect the teacher and staff movements between schools as is customary in the beginning of the school year. But I wanted to share it with you because just for information purposes, so you're aware of it. Also in your packet, I have included an updated list of all the revolving accounts and their status as we begin the school year. And if you have any questions with regard to those, I'd be more than happy to answer that as well. So I'll give you a minute to, if there's any questions on any of those or anything.
Does anyone have any questions for Cecilia? Seeing none?
No, I through the chair, just want to confirm that the only reason the preschool is in the negative is because of
Yes,
tuition.
we've actually encumbered all the salaries for the year. We tend to do that just to show so we're able to keep track of our monies and know where we stand, so.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Okay, thank you very
Okay.
much.
I also have an online payment update. I'm really excited to say that our online payment system is up and running. We currently, if you go to the Auburn website, the Auburn Public Schools website, we have a link that brings you directly to the Auburn payment page for Unipay. We've partnered with Unibank. It's Unibank Gold. The town also uses Unibank for some of their payments as well. So we thought that was a good way to, since probably many of the townspeople are very familiar with using the Unibank system, we felt that would be appropriate for us. We've also had a lot of interest expressed in years past that why don't we have an online payment. So we're excited to have that up and running. Currently, we have the iPad insurance fees for the high school and the middle school up there. And we also have the preschool tuition fees there as well. We've had a great response with the iPads. Lots of people are using it. The preschool was a little slow to start. We're starting to have people start picking up, making their payments for monthly tuition on that. I'm working with the IT department as well as Unibank that I'd like to get the before and after school programs, the Galaxy, Satellite, and Asteroid programs, that we'll be able to make payments online for those programs as well as also, we didn't have it for this year, but the transportation, have a link for transportation, so we'll be able to have online transportation payments for next year. So, we'll get that up and running, so if there's any we can have that all set up. And so I'll keep you posted in the coming weeks with how things go with that, and keep you updated. So, any questions with regarding to online payments, or?
Thank you for working through the chair. Thank you for working so hard to get that going. That's great.
Yeah, that's
We've had
gonna
a
be
lot
a
of
great
people
tool.
express excitement about it. I think it's great. It's a good 21st century thing to bring us there. Right. Okay, as far as the busing update, I just wanted to give you a quick update. I promised I would come back, and as Dr. Brunel had stated in the previous meetings, the opening of school went very well with regard to busing. We've been continuing along to monitor our arrival times for school, for arrivals for school, and they've been within the designated timeframes for the arrival times for school, so things have been going well that way. We've also continued to closely monitor our bus numbers to make sure that they're in acceptable ranges, and for the most part, everything's been going really well. I've had some parents reach out to me by email and phone calls with myself and Miss O'Connell in the front office, and we've followed up with people, and we've worked with them, so I think overall everyone's been pretty happy. I would like to come back at a later meeting to discuss the idea of moving up the busing registration timeframe from June, and I thought from June 1st maybe to potentially May 1st, and also to also discuss the idea of raising the late fee amount. I feel like the late fee for this year, I know that Dr. Grinnell had shared with you that after June 1st, which was our deadline this previous year, we had 250 people register for busing after the June 1st deadline, and of those 250, only 60 were new residents or new family members, which is something that we would expect, like new people to be registering, but the remainder of those people were just people that hadn't registered. So I don't feel like the $50 late fee is deterring late registration, and it makes it really difficult with registrations coming in right up to the start of school. We're trying to make sure that the bus routes are adequate and that our numbers stay in reasonable ranges. So those are some of the things that I'd like to bring back at a future meeting. So
I think that makes
Okay.
sense. I think even the parents who are negligent would agree that it's in their best interest to have this busing situation completed, sooner rather than later, because it's going to affect their children as well. Maybe not as far as safety goes, but as far as just convenience. If you want the buses to be on time and you want to have a set schedule and you want to have that down within the first week and a half, we need to get these routes made up a lot quicker. Any comments?
No, I think and I hate raising. They cost more no matter what part of the board we're on, but I think this is one instance that it would be a good thing to do it, because it may get more people to sign up earlier, as George just said. And, it seems like the $50 one is not adequate enough to get these people signed up. If you're getting, 100 people that are delinquent with signing up right off the bat, maybe it will help. And I think it's a good idea.
Any other comments?
Into the chair, I was just going to say also it won't affect for free and reduced students if they are
Right.
free and reduced.
Yeah.
If they register on time, there's no late fee, so
I'm glad
that'll
you said
encourage
that.
people to register early as well, so they won't have that late fee.
Great. Thank you very much for that report. Very thorough as usual.
And through the chair, what if we do this, even for whatever actually comes before us to vote on, if we could just include, stronger or clearer language about the fact that there's no penalty to withdraw your kid from being on a bus. So it's better to go ahead, sign them up for a bus, and if you change your mind later, that there is no penalty. I think maybe that could help also if we're going to raise.
Okay.
Just one.
Oh, that's a good, yeah.
Makes sense.
I will keep that in mind, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Anything else before I entertain the motion for executive session?
No. I'll second.
Okay. I would entertain that motion to go into executive session.
I'll make a motion to go to executive session per Mass General Law, Chapter 30, Section 21A2, to conduct strategies for negotiations with union and non-union personnel.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Mrs. Harrington?
Yes.
Mrs. Kaufman?
Yes.
Mr. Page?
Yes.
Mr. Scobie?
Yes. Good night, everyone.